my helmet was the first thing that flew off and landed on the road. So my body landed 70 meters away. My face actually smacked on the floor without my helmet and fractured into fragments. In 1994, May the 24th, I met an accident, a road accident. I was on a motorbike and I collided with a police car after alighting my friend. I was riding at about 100 km per hour. So when I got over the summit of that part of the expressway, suddenly a police car appeared before me. So instantaneously what I did was to veer my bike to the right between the metal railing and the police vehicle. The police vehicle was facing me, but my handlebar scratched against the police door. That resulted in my front wheel turning at a rapid pace. It causes the front wheel to become a pivot point. And given the momentum that my bike has and me, my body actually catapulted 70 meters. And because I didn't tie my helmet was the first thing that flew off and landed on the road. So my body landed 70 meters away. My face actually smacked on the floor without my helmet and fractured into fragments. My craniofacial bone was fractured into fragments. And that accident actually caused my brain water to leak out from my nostril. So when Civil Defense arrived in 5 minutes time, they actually found fluid on the tarmac floor around my head. What injuries did I get from the accident? Oh, there's a plenty. The accident actually resulted in me suffering multiple damages to my body. One, the most crucial, is it actually broke my whole face and allowed bacteria to go into my nostril to my brain. That actually caused my brain to have fever of 46 degrees. When I went for medical appointment, a doctor joked with me, said that when I was in the surgical ward while he was treating me, he could eat my brain. My brain was edible, it was already cooked. And I said, oh my gosh, how could it be? And the accident actually blinded my left eye and dislocated both my eyes such that I had to realign my eye during correction surgery. And the realignment is done as an approximation manner. That's why they got me to sign an indemnity form before the surgery. My left nostril was torn off. That was not only the problem with my nose. My left nose, the nerves were disengaged. That means the movement actually disengaged my nostril sensation from my brain. That means I'm no longer able to smell right now. Yeah. Actually, after my accident, maybe I can bring forth this point. I saw a neighbor who actually greatly inspired me at the point of time, empowered me. I was contemplating on suicide. I didn't want to burden my family because after my accident, I lost my memory and I'm physically impaired on my leg. I cannot imagine myself finding a job to be able to support myself, so my family may have to support me all the way. And moreover, my father, he died of a heart attack because of my accident, and that actually implied my family eventually could not get a pay for supporting the family because my mom is not working. I was planning to commit suicide. I contemplated on jumping from 9th story. At that point of time, I questioned myself, if I were to jump from 9th story, my body may have a rotational momentum that result in my leg hitting the floor. I may become paralyzed and still alive. So I said, cannot. I told myself, it must be a sure succeed event. So I planned at that point of time to carry plates on my hand so that I can create pressure differential. Del V will give you del P, and that will allow me to have a force that I can use to rotate my body to ensure that my head hit the floor. Can you imagine? I lost my memory, but I am still very good in my aga-aga, hamtam bola, gasa bota. I'm able to think using physics in place. Yeah. So before I committed my suicide, I went down to think about it. I went for a stroll. And as I hobbled on the walkway, I saw a gentleman, a Malay gentleman seated on the chair, on a bench. And so I sat beside him. I said, hey, not bad, the sun is shining bright. Today is a good day. He held a walking stick and he looked at me with a blank face. And he looked in front. Can you imagine at that point of time what did I ask him? I asked him, hey, I think it's lunchtime. Where do you stay? I help you home. He held onto the walking stick and he pointed up the staircase. The staircase was just on beside us, near the bench. So I helped him home, and upon reaching his house, his mom told me, "Do you know, 6 years ago, my son actually had an accident with a bus. After alighting his registered wife, he had an accident with a bus and he fractured his spine. So he became semilateral paralyzed on the master side of his body." At that point of time, I understood how fortunate I am to have fractured my face. The brain discharge of fluid allowed my blood to leak in my brain, so I still retain my thinking ability. But this neighbor of mine, he has become impaired in his mental capacity, and he also has semilateral paralysis. So by looking good, he's still worse off than me. And so at that point of time, I made it a point to visit him frequently to help inspire his family and to help him. I believe the government need to see from a big picture and engineer solution. Now in the Lao period, the COVID situation, I believe the government can invest their energy and time onto coming out with committees to help all these perhaps neglected population, to look into helping them. And this is where my anguish lies. Are they doing it? They may not. My name is Takalah, and this is my fairly mundane story.